Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. If you're new, I'm Rebecca. Today we'll be making some soup. This is a really satisfying meal that is quick and easy to put together. We'll be making Italian sausage tortellini soup. This has some great Italian flavor to it, and I hope that you enjoy the recipe. So let's head to the kitchen and we can put our ingredients together for making some Italian sausage tortellini soup. Now the first thing that we need to do for preparing our sausage tortellini soup is brown up some Italian sausage. So the brand that we like to use is Jimmy Dean Italian sausage here. So I have my Dutch oven ready to go. Place it to medium-high heat. Just get this heated up a little bit. And you can use whatever brand Italian sausage that you prefer, but what I'm going to do is just pinch off some portions of this Italian sausage and place it into the Dutch oven here. I'm not going to add any oil or anything because this has enough fat in it that it'll render off some oils during the browning process here. So basically I'm just pinching off bite-sized pieces of sausage. And these will be our pieces of sausage that'll be throughout our soup once we're finished preparing it here. So now I'll just allow this pan to heat up nicely and brown these pieces of Italian sausage. All right, so the Italian sausage pieces have browned up nicely here. So what I'm going to do is put them onto a paper towel lined plate here. I'm just going to leave all the oils and fats that have rendered from cooking this sausage right in the pan. There we go. Now to this pan I'm going to add 1 medium onion that I've chopped. I'm just going to saute this right in the oils from the Italian sausage that we browned up. We're just going to cook these or saute them until they've softened a bit and are slightly golden. All right, these onions have softened a bit. They're a little bit more translucent. They have a little bit of color on them. So now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. We'll just saute that garlic until it becomes fragrant. Now let's start making our soup base. So to this Dutch oven, I'll add 4 cups of chicken stock or chicken broth. And to give it some nice flavor, I'm going to add a tomato basil pesto sauce. Here's the one that I like to use. You can use whatever flavor or variety pasta sauce that you like. I find that the tomato basil works really well for this soup. Now to give this some more tomato flavor, we'll add a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. You could also do some tomato paste powder if you do dehydrating or freeze drying. That's a tomato paste substitute option. And now let's add some spices and seasoning. So we're going to add 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of basil, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And to add a little kick, we'll do a 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. We can always add more later as well. Let's get these stirred into here. And now we've created our soup base. So this is a really flavorful tomato soup base. So now we're going to add our sausage back in. Now we can bring this mixture up to a boil. Now that our soup base has come up to a boil, I'm just going to turn it down just a little bit. And now we can add in our tortellini. So I like to use tricolor tortellini, and this is a cheese tortellini. It's found in the refrigerated section of the grocery store. But you can use whatever flavor or variety tortellini that you'd like. And that's about a 9-ounce package. They usually come in 9 to 10-ounce packages. So we'll put this in our mixture and allow this to come to a simmer, and that'll help cook that tortellini. Now I'm going to add an optional ingredient. I like to add this sometimes when I have extra zucchini from the harvest. And I have a couple small zucchinis that were harvested in the fall, and I just wanted to use them up while I had it. So what I'm going to do is cut up the zucchini and place it in here. I'll just add a little extra vegetable and some nice flavor to our soup. But you certainly don't have to do this. I've made this soup many times just as all the ingredients before the zucchini, and it's very tasty. Like I said, I had a couple of smaller zucchini. I thought I'd add them in. So here's one small zucchini that I've just cut into quartered pieces. We'll mix them in. So add some great vegetable flavor and kind of stretch the soup a little bit too. So we'll have a little bit more soup to enjoy. This smells wonderful, and it's a nice colorful soup. So now what we're going to do is allow our sausage tortellini soup to come to a simmer, and we're going to simmer it for about 20 minutes. That way the tortellinis can cook through and the zucchini that I added will start to soften a little bit. So allow our sausage tortellini soup to simmer. All right, our sausage tortellini soup has been simmering for about 20 minutes now, and it's thickened up a little bit, and the tortellini has plumped up. The zucchini that I added has become slightly tender, so this soup is ready to eat. So let me put some of this into a bowl and we can have a closer look and a taste of our sausage tortellini soup. All right, here we have our sausage tortellini soup. This is a really flavorful and satisfying soup, and it's made with Italian sausage, so it has some great flavor. And as you saw earlier, I added in some optional fresh zucchini, so you can add fresh vegetables. If you have a lot of tomatoes from the garden, in the past I've made this, and instead of the can of tomato paste, I did 3 to 5 fresh tomatoes. That made a really delicious version of this soup as well. This is also very flavorful and delicious without the additional vegetables and without the substitutions that I just mentioned. Now this soup serves really nicely with some crusty bread or maybe some dinner rolls. And as the tortellini sits in the soup, it starts to absorb more of the liquid and they start to plump up even more. So if you store this in the refrigerator and reheat it at a later time, the tortellini will really have plumped up and you'll have a bit more of a thicker stew as you reheat this later for meals. Let's have a closer look at our sausage tortellini soup. Has some great flavor with all those herbs and spices that we added, and by using that pasta sauce, has some nice cooked in flavor from that pasta sauce already. The large pieces of Italian sausage that we browned up and the tri-colored cheese tortellini makes a really savory and satisfying soup, so I hope you'll give this recipe a try. If you'd like more ideas or inspiration on other easy meals or recipes that you can make to make a delicious weeknight or weekend meal, be sure to check out my recipes and in the kitchen playlist. And I also have a playlist for meals using your air fryer, Instant Pot, and crock pot if you want some easy weeknight meal options as well. So if you're new to the channel or if you haven't done so yet, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. Just simply hit the subscribe button below and continue to watch my channel, The Home and Homestead, for some more homemade, homegrown, and home style inspiration. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today while we cooked this sausage tortellini soup, and I hope that you're having a great day. See you next time. Take care.